Hey guys and girls, it is Sunday afternoon, and it's a beautiful Sunday afternoon here in southern Oklahoma. It's probably about 80 degrees, 82, 83 degrees out here, dead calm. The wind was blowing quite a little bit this morning, but it's calmed off, and it's just absolutely spectacular. It's a little muggy. We are supposed to have some heat up around 95, 96, 98 degrees this week, but it's the end of a spectacular week. I'm talking about a spectacular week. And the beginning of another week that's going to be a really good one. You know, this week was a really big week this last week. We flew, last Sunday, we flew to Boston, Massachusetts. That's right, Boston, MA. And we went to Gloucester, which is, Gloucester, Mass., which is where my buddy Captain Paul Habert from Wicked Tuna lives, him and his beautiful girlfriend. And I'm telling you what, Alina, and I'm telling you, we just had a blast there. They took care of Pat and I so well. My buddy Dan Graff was there with us also and fished with us, and he's from Cincinnati, and we just had a spectacular time. And well, we got some lobsters right off of the boat and had a great big lobster boil and corn on the cob, sweet corn on the cob. You take two big giant lobsters, two big giant Massachusetts lobsters, and two big long giant pieces of sweet corn, corns and cobs, and that will fill you up. That will absolutely fill you up. And yes, some of y'all are thinking, if you're fishing with Captain Paul, were you tuna fishing? Absolutely, we were. We were on the Wicked Pissa, and we just absolutely had a great time. The bite was really difficult. We fished 2 days. The first day was a really difficult bite. I did catch one shark. That's all I caught all day, and the only bite we had all day long. And it was just difficult. The next morning, we left the dock. We left the dock at 3 o'clock. We got up at 2 o'clock. We left the dock at 3 o'clock. And went out and fished until that evening. We were back in. As a matter of fact, we got lobsters out of a lobster trap that a guy had. Well, it's a lobster box, not a trap, but a box that he had these 10 lobsters set aside for us that he had just caught that day. We talk about fresh fish and fresh pecans. I'm talking about fresh lobster that was swimming around in the ocean. And then that night they were swimming around in Jimmy and Pat and Captain Paul and Alina and Dan. And we had 2 lobsters apiece. We got 10 lobsters and 10 big pieces of corn, and that's what we had. That was our meal. Well, what an incredibly great meal. And we went out the second day, and like I said, we left the dock 3 o'clock, plumb dark. We went out 26 miles out, and there wasn't but 2 or 3 boats out there. The first day was probably like 50 or 60 boats around us, and nobody was catching any fish. But the second day we get out there, I hung one great big shark. I mean, I was battling that dude. I don't know how much, probably 200 or 300 pounds, and the fish finally cut the line in 2 or broke off or something. But anyway, he got away. We landed that one the first day. We landed that shark. So you'll be seeing that on Jimmy Houston Outdoors on ESPN2, Discovery Channel, Heartland Network, Hunt Network, World Fishing Network, WFN, Pursuit Channel. Probably about a dozen networks. That will be in the 2025 shows, which are just around the corner. They'll start the first weekend in January, maybe the last weekend in December is when they'll get started. So be looking for that if you've got ESPN2 or Discovery or any of those other channels. And I think ESPN2 will probably on Saturday morning at 7:30 Eastern Time, 6:30 Central Time. So that's probably what will be on there. I haven't seen exactly what that time will be yet. But anyway, we will be giving you folks out here on our YouTube channel, Jimmy Houston Outdoors Fishing. If you're not subscribed to that channel, you better subscribe to it. And Jimmy Houston Outdoors Facebook, all capital letters. We've got about 1 million subscribers and followers on our social media, another 1 million likes and counting TikTok in there. And we got about 100,000 people now on TikTok, which is really, really cool. But we caught a tuna. That's right. I did catch a tuna. Jimmy, you're kind of in suspense. I did catch a tuna. And Monday we could have kept the tuna, and actually they're worth a couple dollars a pound right now. And this tuna that I caught was 700 pounds, over 700 pounds, over 100 inches long. Whoa. 100 inches long, over 100 inches long, and it was over 700 pounds. So I just said 711. That's what's going to call my PB. You know, my PB was like 383 or 384 pounds, a Goliath grouper I caught fishing with my buddy Roland Martin. But this is a 711 pounds. 711 pounds. I couldn't just say over 700, and the reason we weren't able to take the fish in, we released the fish alive, swim away, perfectly healthy and everything. We got video of all of that, and I did not get any picture of Jimmy standing there with a tuna that's, like 10 or, 9 or 10 foot long. 9 or 10 foot long is how long that tuna was, and big and broad and wide. I mean, big, giant, beautiful, incredible fish. I actually felt good that we were able to turn it loose. if we'd have caught the fish the day before was the day we could keep them. The day that I caught it, we couldn't keep it. But it was an incredible trip, a fantastic trip. And we flew back Wednesday. I got back here to the ranch Wednesday night, really, really late. And was here at the ranch on Thursday, my only day at the ranch all week. And then Friday, I went over to the Baumgar store in Ada, Oklahoma. Thank you so much to all of you folks that came by out there. Just amazing how many friends came over from around the Ada, Oklahoma area and a lot of the little surrounding towns here in southern Oklahoma. Ada is only about 40 miles from our ranch, so it's close by. And, you know, I had one man even brought a present that he had bought for Chris. He bought this present for Chris, a beautiful little deal with two mourning doves on there. He had bought it for Chris back when she had her stroke, and that's been over 41 months ago, and he'd been saving that, waiting to run into me. And he brought it to me there at that Baumgar store. But I had my Shell Rotella boat over there. I had my Ram truck, Expressway Ram truck, Expressway from Evansville, Indiana, and Mount Vernon, Indiana. You know where that is. But we had those on display in front of the store. I was there for, I think about 5 hours, and just a beautiful store, fantastic people. So many people came by. We sort of had the parking lot a little blocked there at times with folks, and people kind of have to drive around us or, you know, stop and wait and get one lane to get by us there in the parking lot. But it was just a wonderful time over there on Friday. Saturday morning, I got up at 4 o'clock and caught an early plane in Oklahoma City and went to Noonan, Georgia. Noonan, Georgia. That's right. We just had a fantastic time there yesterday. What a great church. What fantastic people. They're country folk, just like I've grown up around all my life. They're country folk. Noonan, Georgia is about 40 miles or so away from Atlanta, and in a Church of God, which is a Pentecostal Assembly Church. I think maybe the biggest one in that entire area down there, maybe the biggest one in that whole assembly. I'm not sure. And one of the amazing things about all the preachers there, they have a preacher and then they have associate pastors, is none of those guys take a salary. They've all got a job making a living doing something else. Some of them laying carpet, some of them laying tile, some of them auto mechanics and truck mechanics and all kinds of different occupations. And they preach. They preach Sunday morning, Sunday night, any other time. They have special events like this. That was actually a sportsman's banquet, and it was a deal where we raised money for a lot of the kids' deals and scholarships and things that they do for various kids in that area over there, and some of the kids that go to their church, some of them that don't. And they really had a great deal. Had raised a lot of money yesterday. The tickets were $100 to that. They sold 400 tickets is all they sold, and then we had some raffles and stuff that we did. And fortunately, I was able to volunteer some money to that too, and that was just really, really good. And I didn't win a gun. They gave away about 8 or 10 guns. I didn't win a gun. I did win a mug. I won a Yeti tumbler. Didn't have a handle on it, but I let Red Berry carry that home for me because I figured I'd lose it in the airport. And I won some Bass Pro Shop fish batter. That's right, Bass Pro Shop fish batter. Now, that's a good prize to win. I won those in the little door prizes. They had door prizes there or raffle tickets, I guess it was. They had about 70 or 80 prizes on that raffle. But all of the money is going to a great cause. It's going to help kids. And, you know, we had it out in a tent. We did not have it in. They have a beautiful, large church. And that's in the middle of nowhere. Trees and woods all around, you know. It's a highway running out in front of it, and they're a few hundred yards off the highway there. But just absolutely beautiful church. Incredibly great people. Country folk. Talked about deer hunting. Talked about football. Talked about fishing. Talked about God. Talked about Jesus. Talked about serving the Lord. All of those preachers over there in that assembly at that Church of God, no staff member at all. Everybody that works for that church is all volunteer work. Nobody takes a single penny out of it. So that's really cool. That's really cool. None of them are on salary. And we had a really big crowd there. We had the tent completely full up. It rained quite a bit of the time while we were having that event, but we were in the tent. We were dry. We were able to watch it rain. I just thought it was great. I loved it. Another thing was fantastic while we were there. My buddy Red Berry and his beautiful wife Joan came over, and I was real proud of that. Some other people came from a couple, 2 or 3 hours away, and we had quite a few people drive over there to come and visit. And really, I'm so honored to go get to do that around churches around the nation. I think the next one I've got coming up, I got one coming up in Sherman, Texas. I think that's not until the early part of next month, maybe the first. I don't know. I'll post a video and let you know that. So if you're in and around Sherman, Texas, I got one later in October. In Whitesboro, Texas, which is not too awful far from Sherman, really. So we'll be down in that area a couple times. So if you live north of there, you can go south. If you live south of Whitesboro, you can come up to Whitesboro. But you might want to come to both events. They're both going to be really great events, and both of them are in the month of October. But it's hot out here. It's hot. I'm sitting out here sweating. I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting here talking. But anyway, that was what we had. And here's the deal. You know, I tell people that I like to work a half a day. That's all I like to work is a half a day. whether I'm filming or whether we're working on the ranch or no matter we're doing personal appearances, I like to work half a day, 12 hours, that's it. But Saturday was one of those 24-hour plus, just a little bit. I have a lot of 20, 21, 22-hour days, but I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I got back here at the ranch at 3:45 last night. My plane, we got on the airplane, got ready to take off in Atlanta, and something was messed up. They pulled us back to the terminal and sat there for another couple hours. And anyway, we didn't get to Oklahoma City till really late, about 1:30. I got here at the ranch about 3:30, 3:45, something like that. By the time that I went out, tried to capture an armadillo, and Ellie and I let it get away, but it's Benelli's fault. It wasn't mine, but Benelli's fault. Just ask her. She'll own up to the fact it was her fault. But she's sitting right here beside me, so she will definitely tell you that truth. But so it was actually 4:30 before I went to bed. So I put up from 4 o'clock Saturday morning until 4:30 this morning. So it's a 24 and a half hour day. A little over a 24-hour day is what we put in Saturday. But it was well worth it. It's a fantastic day, an absolutely fantastic day. And I'm going to just own up to something right here. I'm embarrassed about this whole deal. But I had my phone set at 7:30. I get up at 7:30 on Sunday mornings. We have to leave the ranch at 9:30. It takes a couple hours by the time I get myself and get Chris ready to go to church. We leave the ranch at 9:30. Gives us time to go by the donut shop in Sulphur, Oklahoma, and get a caramel long john for Chris and an apple fritter or a couple of glazed donuts for me, or both sometimes. And then we can make it to our church in plenty of time to be there for the 10:30 service. We have our Sunday morning service, 10:30 to 11:30. And that thing went off at 4 o'clock. I mean, at 7:30, and I'd been to bed at 4:30. So I'm not the most perfect cipher in the world, but that's 2.5 hours sleep after putting in a 24-hour day, and then plus working another day out in the hot sun on Friday. And that was a long day as well, but I rolled over and hit that button on that telephone, and I thought I'm going to sleep another 10 minutes. And that time I woke up, it was 8:20. 8:20, that's right. And so I did not have time to get Chris and I ready. So I missed church this morning. I know I probably missed the best church service we've had all year. I probably missed the best church service we had all year. And I'll never know about that. I'll know about that. But I had several hours of church yesterday with the Church of God folks up there, and great godly people sharing their Christian values and benefits. And I got to talk about an hour, which was really fine, talking about what God is doing in my life. And God is doing some remarkable things in my life right now. I'm sharing some of that with y'all on social media, but he's doing remarkable things, amazing things. God is dropping blessings out of heaven. And that's what God likes to do. We serve a God that loves to bless us. We serve a God that loves to bless us. So that was my week. That's what's happening with Jimmy's World over here. We got another great week this next week. We do not have to leave the ranch all week, so that's fantastic. We're going to be able to look at the deer and play around with the deer a little bit. We're going to be able to mess around with the Humusol waterless garden. I think that some of the tomato plants, some of y'all have been following those tomato plants on the Jimmy and Chris Houston Ranch channel on YouTube, which is our largest channel. I think we've got 125,000 subscribers on that. 3 channels on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to all 3 of them. The fishing channel's only got about 15,000 people on it. Devotional channel about 30, and our ranch channel about 125,000. People seem to love the deer more than they love fishing or God. And a lot of y'all are on all 3 channels. I know that for a fact, but we'll be having that tuna on that fishing channel here sometime within the next week or so. And that's we got our tomato plants that we've been testing with Humusol, and the ones are doing pretty good without Humusol, but they're about 2/3 the size of the ones where I put the waterless garden, Humusol waterless garden product in there. And one of the plants is looking pretty bad. I gave him a good drink of water before I left and went out of town I did that Thursdays when I did it a couple of days ago. And I might have done that Friday evening. I'm not sure, Thursday evening or Friday evening. But anyway, I think I'm going to get a bag of Humusol. I still got some 30 or 40 pound bags left. All my big bags I've used up, but I'm going to get that, and sweat just running off of me. But and winds come up, probably messing my audio up. I don't have a microphone on because it was dead calm. So I need to end this thing pretty quick. But I think I'm going to take some of that Humusol and put it around the plants that have just been in the ground, and maybe even take a little spade and mix it up in there a little bit, get it down in the soil. And I don't want to mess those roots up, but see if maybe that Humusol will cause those plants to start growing better, and see if maybe they'll even catch up with the others. And there's no buds on that plant yet, and those others have had buds that are pretty good size and might start having tomatoes here pretty quick. I'm not much of a farmer, but I'm sure trying. But the Humusol product is absolutely amazing, incredible. And they'll be having some of those products on the market real quick, probably within the next week or 2 or 3 weeks. Somebody, so I had a few comments where it cost $100 a bag. I don't know where people are getting that price. I actually sent a note to the owner of the company, and he said, I don't know where people are getting that price. I don't know where that price is coming from. So it might be some other type product that is similar, but there is no product exactly like this in the world, except Humisoil. And it might be some of it that they might be looking on a website or something that's sold in some of the other countries, because they are selling it in over 20 countries. And this is just the introduction into the United States of America. And I think the techniques and the science, and the biological science and the patents and everything that's happened in developing the substrates that causes it to do what it does, and cause those little micro men down in the millions and trillions of those little micro men down in the soil to work together and bind hydrogen and oxygen and create water in the soil, and bring the soil back to where God made it. You know, when God created heaven and earth, and God made Adam and Eve, do you know it wasn't raining? It didn't rain. The water was already in the ground. The Garden of Eden, which I assume is probably maybe the most beautiful garden ever. I don't really know, but the Garden of Eden, sweat's running all over me. The Garden of Eden, it wasn't raining. The rain didn't happen till later. I'm not Jewish. I need to look in the Bible and find out exactly sure. Maybe when I start reading the Bible through next year, I'm going to pay attention and remember exactly when rain started happening. I know it, I think it happened sometime in Moses' lifetime, because I know it rained a lot. I mean, not Moses, but Noah. I know it rained a lot in Noah's lifetime. I know it rained one time, 40 days straight, 40 days and nights it rained. I mean, big time rain. But I think it really started in Noah's lifetime, where God started watering the earth. Let there be rain. God started watering the earth. But the soil is made to create water on its own. We've destroyed that in this world. And with Humisoil and the waterless garden, waterless lawn, deer soil for deer plots, all these different kind of products they're coming out with, Humirock and all the mineralization products that they have. It was designed to restore the soil back and where it was. It's a conservation deal, is what it really is. And so I'm excited, so excited about all that. It's just a SGTM Sustainable Green Team are just developing products that will save the world and feed the world, as a matter of fact. And we're so happy to be here on the ground floor of it. The wind is starting to blow pretty good right now, so my audio is probably really messing up. So I'll get out of here. Y'all guys have a great week up there. A great week out there. I was going to talk about something popped into my mind this week, and I was just wondering if you can praise yourself out of problems. Can you praise yourself out of problems? Can you praise God so much and so often and so frequently and so loudly and so intensely that you praise yourself out of your problem, whatever problem you have? I wanted to talk about that a little bit, but I've been talking way too long already, and the wind's coming up. I know my audio is getting horrible, but you can praise yourself out of problems. Can you praise yourself out of problems? And if you can, and I think you can, if you have a problem, start praising God. Start praising God. We'll talk about that sometime in a future video. But guys and girls, fish lucky. Have you a great week. And remember, I sure do love you.